Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 5th episode of A Cup of Nepenthe, a positivity podcast to keep you company during quarantine. This week, I am joined by Kinross again, and Bill again. It's the Permadeath Podcast reunion!
Yay! It's only been since January since I've spoken to Bill. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Kinross. How are you, friend?
We'll get to that in a bit.
Oh no.
No, I actually learnt something about myself and Bill when he was last on, that he legitimately thought that was my name.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
I did not know that.
I mean, you know, like I see a lot of usernames out there, and a lot of usernames, like mine involves meat. Abby's is from
I get it.
From a video game. And Kinross is just a thing that I wasn't familiar with, you know. So I'm like, this guy's name is just Kinross. Cool, man. I like it.
Yeah. I do get it. I just was a bit weirded out by it.
See, but now I'm learning.
To be fair, it's because no one introduces you by your real name. Everyone goes, "Oh, this is Kinross."
That's true. Very true.
I don't know why it's like particular people that I just can't get my head around calling them by their first name, like Yokorama. I know his first name.
Yeah.
I don't.
He's Yoku. That's it.
Is his name like super common? Because I have the disadvantage that everyone knows at least 5 Johns.
Yokorama has
I don't know how to
the
say
circumstance that his name is like kind of difficult to say.
He's got like two ways that he writes it and pronounces it. There's the one that I've seen on Facebook, and then there's the other one that seems easier. But I don't know which one is which. I don't know which one is like the one I should call him. So we just call him Yoku. Like that's just easier.
Yeah, first name Yoku, second name Rama.
My favorite.
So where does the talks come in? So surely Rama is his middle name.
I don't have.
Well, I have him. Oh, sorry.
No, it's up. Go ahead.
I have him saved in my phone as first name Yokorama, second name Game Talk.
It was wide, yeah. I don't have him in
You
my
got
phone.
away with just being Bill Conway, but he did not get away with
Because over the years I've specifically requested nobody call me Peppered Ham, and nobody has done it. So that's good. Everyone's listening to me.
Now and again, you're a frozen Hogut or a Lord Hogue, but never a Peppered Ham.
You know, I don't know who the guy is who has Peppered Ham on PSN. Look, pal. Look, I want to change my damn name, okay? I haven't named myself anything with Hoagie in it for a while. I don't want to be Lord Hogue anymore. Change your effing name, pal. I know this is it's supposed to be a nice podcast. I get it. But, like, look, dude, if you're listening, all I want to know is, like, if you, like, thought you'd hound me by taking my name, I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're living. I hope you're doing okay. But also change it, please. Come on. Your first one's free. First one's free. Change it. Let's go. Come on.
I'm never giving it up. It's mine forever.
Honestly, it might have been me. On the PS3, I don't know.
The password. Well, I had that problem with the Permadeath Twitch channel. I was like, you know what? For E3, I'm going to make us a Twitch channel and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, some bastard's taken it. And then it turns out that I think either you or Kubo had set up a Twitch channel and used all of the normal information. I just never tried. I was like, the bastard. So I made a Perma podcast and then found that we had our own one.
Yeah, didn't we stream, like, Elder Scrolls Online beta on...
I think we did.
that Twitch channel,
I think we might have done, yeah.
I think we did.
I think it was Kubo.
I was just going to say, I think it might have been Kubo doing the streaming, because it definitely couldn't have been me back then. I'm not sure.
It would have been awful if it was me, because I got trapped in a hole.
I think the first 45 minutes of that stream was us going, how do we get into the same bit of the server? I don't understand.
Yeah. Fucking sharding.
I literally just remembered by glancing at the side of my screen, this is not permadeath.
Tangent.
It's late. I'm tired. I'm sorry.
That's tangent.
So, how are you guys doing this week, or in general, with quarantine?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
You know, things are all right. Nothing's changed really with my family. Everyone is kind of still in good status. Work has chilled out significantly, and to the point where we're just kind of farting around. We, you know, which has kind of relaxed my mood a lot, is that like for the first 4 hours of the day they have us doing like miscellaneous tasks, so I'm just kind of sitting around and doing nothing for half a day. So yeah, things are all right. Things are all right personally.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Kinros, how are you?
Mine's been the complete opposite. This has been the worst week so far, in terms of work and home and family stuff. And I'm hoping that now next week will be better. That is what I'm hoping for. It's work has hit a point where, so obviously just as the lockdown and quarantine all started, it was manic then, and then we figured, all right, we're over it. We're past that, and it's going to calm down until whenever lockdown ends. And then someone sent an email that caused me to have to deal with several hundred more emails, and that's not been fun. But no, otherwise, I mean, grain of salt, I'm healthy, and everyone I know is, as far as I'm aware, healthy. So all things considered, I shouldn't be quite as bothered by things as I am. But it's been a long week.
It's just I feel like it's just a stressful time for most people because you can't hang out with people like you used to unwind and stuff like that. So
yeah,
definitely get why.
Can't go to the store and buy hot cheese popcorn whenever I want.
I've still not had those damn nachos.
I don't. Weren't you saying though that even before lockdown you weren't able to get those popcorn?
Well, it was sold out for a while, but it was a pleasure that I seeked. I sought it. I sought after. It was a quest always in my mind to find the Okie doke hot cheese popcorn. But it came back in stock at Walmart recently, very shortly before the pandemic. But honestly, I'm afraid of Okie doke's wellness. I hope that they're still in business after this. Please come back, Okie doke.
Hopefully they sponsor you for the amount that you talk about their hot cheese popcorn.
I'm just dropping it anywhere. Yeah, okie doke. If your sales spike after the pandemic, people are going to be running out curious. When they can finally step out into the stores safely, and you're stocking the popcorn. Don't be surprised. Come back around here. And, if anybody out there who's listening to this buys the popcorn, please tweet at okie doke. Okay, let them know who sent you. Okay, at Peppered Ham.
Should I do the same for Reese's Puffs or?
Reese's is doing fine.
Okay.
Thank God.
I was just trying.
Out of everything that we talked about, thank God they're okay.
That's the positive news for the week. Reese's is okay.
I've had a really lackluster week personally. Nothing of interest has happened particularly. Played some Fire Emblem, and we'll finish 3 Houses on stream next week.
Yeah.
For good. Cheers.
How does that feel to complete a journey like that on stream? A goal. A creative endeavor.
Considering how long I've been playing 3 Houses, it doesn't feel real, because it's coming up on a year since that game came out, pretty much. It's been probably about 9 months now. I've been playing that game on and off for since July of last year. So I don't know what I'm going to do with myself when I don't have that to play anymore.
Xenoblade.
Xenoblade, yeah.
Path of Radiance.
Yeah. I'm going back to old school Fire Emblem games afterwards, which I'm very nervous about.
That'll be fun. You gonna stream them?
Yeah. Fire Emblem Fridays on my Twitch channel. Yo. Yeah, I'm gonna stream the GameCube one first. Because I've wanted to play that one for a long time, but it doesn't have the turn wheel in it. So if a unit dies, they're just dead. That's it. There's no saving them. But I feel like I'm going to feel very accomplished when Fire Emblem's over, even if it is just finishing a video game or whatever.
I mean, it's 4 video games. Well,
it's
3.5.
4 video games in one. That was the best investment I made last year, for sure.
Still paying off, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think by the time I'll finish it, I probably would have put about 270 hours into it. which is more time than anyone should put into any video game, if I'm being honest, but...
I mean, it's not Stardew amount of time, but...
That's true. But seeing my Stardew playtime doesn't make me feel good either, to be honest. Sorry, I got a hiccup.
Oh, I thought you were like, Stardew time's too much.
It's double my Fire Emblem time. No, I had a good day today, though. I went on a walk, because we are allowed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on a walk down the back lane, as we call it, and I picked some flowers, and I made myself a little bouquet of flowers to put in my room. That made me feel good. And my uncle, for some reason, really got in the mood to make pizza. So he made 19 pizzas.
Whoa.
And he made one for me, so that was pretty great.
He made 19 and only made one for you.
19
No, he made 19 pizzas. One was for me, one was for my mum, and then there's, like, my granddad and his partner,
Okay.
his family, like, all of his daughters and stuff, so everyone got pizza. Like...
Oh. Was it good?
It was good. It was a thin crust with mozzarella cheese and... peppers, sweet corn, onions, like the good stuff that I really like on pizza. So, shout outs to my Uncle Gary for
Hell yeah, Uncle Gary!
He made me a pizza, and that just made my day, to be honest. You give me a pizza, I'm having a good day, you know.
I know that this isn't permadeath, but it is now because you've talked about food.
And
this
Uncle
is going to be a
Gary.
2-hour long episode that I have to edit in a day. Anyway, what we're going to talk about this week are things that make us feel cozy, because I realised that last week was a lot. The last episode was intense, so we're taking a break from that topic for now to talk about cozy things and nice things that make you feel warm and fluffy inside, and then next week we'll be on to the talking about boredom thing, so... It's coming. So, I'm gonna ask Bill first. What kind of things make you feel cozy? It can be, you know, little comforts that you have, like your wax melt thing or whatever.
Right.
Games, hobbies, YouTubers that you like watching, Twitch streamers, whatever makes you feel good. Tell me about it.
Well, there's a lot of things. There are a lot of things that I use to make me feel comfortable and cozy, or things that give me those cozy vibes. And one of them, well, there's two games in particular, two series in particular that really, the sights and sounds, because a lot of like the things in video games that make me feel those kinds of emotions, like, are its sights and sounds usually. Like when you like playing, like, this isn't my example, but like say playing something like RuneScape and you hear its old MIDI ass soundtrack, it's like, it brings you back some place, you know. It makes you feel a warmth, and it's not always just nostalgia, but like it makes you feel like safe. Like I don't know how to really describe that, but like the two things for me. I mean, one, I said in the Discord over the week that, you know, any excuse to talk about World of Warcraft, I'm going to do it. But like Azeroth in general, you know, the world of Azeroth just feels cozy to me. It makes me feel cozy. It's a world I've spent the better part of 15 years in at this point, and I always go back to it no matter what state the game is in. And Classic has made that easier. You know, logging into Classic and even just now leveling up a Night Elf and hearing the Night Elf music again, and like, this is the music that little kid Bill listened to a lot, because I spent a lot of time in the Night Elf zone because it took me forever because I was dumb. So it's been drilled into my brain. And then the thing that is the coziest thing recently for me has been playing through the Resident Evil games with my dad. And because Resident Evil in general, it's a weird series to make you feel cozy, right? Because it's absolutely grotesque and it's terrifying and very frustrating in a lot of ways, with backtracking and combat and controls and whatever else you're struggling with in Resident Evil. There's a laundry list of them, but it overcomes all of its shortcomings. Because, you know, playing through those games, you know, watching my dad play through them has been a thing in my life forever. And so just hearing the inventory clicks of Resident Evil and solving the puzzles and getting to do them as an adult with a brain on the same level as my dad has been fun, and a really cozy time to spend on Thursday nights. And then, yeah, I mean, then just generally, like, you know, music is my biggest one, you know, because music takes you back to everything. I talked about like games and stuff. It gives you sights and sounds, and you know that's what gives you that's what evokes the emotion. So like listening to a game soundtrack or in general listening to like anime soundtracks or whatever gives me the experience of re-experiencing these things without having to do them. So like for example, Fully Cooley and the Pillows, like their music makes me feel way more emotional than any other soundtrack on earth for very many reasons. So listening to the Pillows is something I do regularly every week. They finally put them on Spotify last year. So it's been, you know, it's always something I go back to. I was just texting my friend about it the other day because we all miss each other very much. So like, you know, getting to see the Pillows with them last year in New York was an amazing experience to like kind of cross off the bucket list. But pretty much any time one of us is listening to the Pillows, one of us gets a text message about it, and just talking about whether it be the concert or whether it be like, man, you know, he sent me a text the other day and he's like, I was walking home from work because they went back to work 2 weeks ago. The weather started breaking, and he was like, walking down the street in the warm weather, listening to the Pillows makes it feel like there's nothing going on. And like that's the best way I could describe how I would want things that make me feel cozy to make me feel. Those brief little moments where you don't realize there's a pandemic going on, like you kind of forget about it for a second because you're just so comfortable in where you're sitting and what you're listening to or what you're playing. Like there's so many things that I use as a crutch to feel that, and the Pillows music, World of Warcraft, and Resident Evil are the three biggest proponents to allowing me to feel comfortable. For sure.
How about you, Kinross? By the way, I thought for sure you were going to say Shenmue.
Shenmue is major cozy vibes for sure. Streaming Shenmue, you know, I mean, streaming in general, and playing older games on stream in general, you know, and sharing those experiences, you know, throughout this situation, is definitely up there. So yeah, I'd toss Shenmue in there as well. Why not? Give it up for Rio.
Good. Hello, gorgeous.
Oh, God.
How about you, Kinross?
See, I've got two different sort of ways. Like, it's a lot harder for me to be cozy to feel cozy in this sort of time of year, just because it's so hot and uncomfortably miserable.
Yeah, winter is definitely the cozy month. This is not a timely podcast, but
winter sort of sit surrounded by the computer screens and huddle around that warmth with a dressing gown, listening to some weird Henry Mancini music. I lately have been going on a major nostalgia YouTube binge of watching old Let's Play playthroughs.
Oh my god!
I've been watching or rewatching Sips play Skyrim, and Towns, which is forever old. And then, and that has then meant that YouTube is recommending me all these really old videos. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember watching this one. That's really, really nice. And then that sends me down into watching 5 hours of nostalgic commercials and things like that. And this week, I said screw it, and I bought Ostriv and City Builder games. I forgot. You start playing them, and then the rest of the day's gone. I'd set the autosave to save every 15 minutes, and I thought that it was broken because of how much I was seeing it. And then I looked at the clock, and I'd started playing at like 11 o'clock in the morning, and it was 9 in the evening. I was like,
Oh.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
There you go. That's one way to eat up your days in quarantine.
Yeah.
By a town builder.
Yeah. So yeah, it's mostly nostalgia and games that don't let you realise how much time has passed, which I guess is similar to sort of Warcraft. If you're not paying attention to the little clock in the corner, you're like, oh, I guess 10 hours has passed.
Yep.
I'm just gonna put a widget over that clock right there.
Yeah, it's like sleeping, but you're doing something.
Meditative state. Zone out.
Yeah.
I feel like I might be a little bit different because I have like 400 different things that make me feel cozy. Whether or not it's the time of year for that, debatable.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the things, well, not a lot of the things, one of the big things that I do not have control over is rain. Rain makes me feel super cozy, and it's not rained in weeks, and it's driving me mad. Because the garden needs watering, and I need the rain on my window.
Yeah.
So rain makes me feel super cozy.
Is
Hot chocolates make me feel super cozy.
Is it the actual rain itself, like when it's just that nice amount of coolness and dampness in the air, or is it the sound? Or
it's both.
Yeah.
It's both.
Because
there's something about that slightly, I don't know, damp smell. You know, when like people have just cut their gardens and then it rains and it smells like wet grass everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the smell.
That's fair.
That triggers off my cozy vibes.
Because I agree that like the rain is, maybe that's like a British sentiment, and maybe like certain parts of the States where it just rains all the time, and you just sort of get used to the idea of wrapping up, sitting, watching the rain. Because rain apps don't do it for me. Like, just listening to the rain, it helps, but it's not... It's more of like a distraction.
The same thing. Yeah, that's more just like white noise rather than... This is making me feel an inner peace. Which is weird, because I definitely used to feel that when I was in uni. I used to go to sleep every day listening to rainymood.com, which had like rain sounds and thunder effects and stuff in there. I liked that website a lot. Can't use it anymore because it doesn't do anything for me. I'd rather just listen to a podcast or something, I guess. But music with rain sound effects in is a like top tier. Like that sort of stuff. When Cam yesterday, last week, was talking about Beneath the Mask from Persona 5.
Yes.
With the rain sound effects. That's great. That makes me feel very cozy. I don't know what it is about the mix of like music and rain that does it, but just rain on its own, not so much.
I wonder if it's something like you can sort of half trick yourself into thinking that the rain isn't part of the music and therefore is actually happening, whereas if you're listening to just rain, you're like, yeah, I know that this isn't real.
Yeah, I think it's a weird like effect it has on your brain, because I listened to somebody did that with two things about that, like two instances where somebody put Animal Crossing music up against rain and up against the sound of fire crackling, like a campfire, and both of those sound effects behind music, whether it be the campfire noises or the rain, like something about them just like it does. You know it's not raining outside. You know you're not sitting out by a campfire with your family, but like your brain just thinks so. Like it just makes you into an idiot for a second, and I say that in the bluntest way possible. It makes you into somebody who's just willing to accept, like, you know what, just let me fucking have it, and you just lay there and you transport yourself into an environment that you wish you were in right now. You wish it was raining. You wish you were out camping or whatever with your favorite tunes. It just, I don't know. I love it. I love the phenomenon of that. But yeah, it's weird. It makes the music better. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it does. To be fair, you're completely right. So maybe I should have Rainy Mood open all the time.
Under every type of music. All right, I got Black Parade with some rain under it. Let's go.
I wonder what that sounds like.
Probably not
awful.
That good.
I don't know if that's a band, a song, or an album, but by the sounds of it, I'm guessing it sounds awful with rain.
It's the My Chemical Romance song.
I see.
Kinross doesn't know the music of my youth.
I don't know the music of your people.
There you go, that's your free thing to do at home this week. Listen to rainymood.com, bring up the music video for the Black Parade, and you're good.
Yeah, check it out.
Rammstein's Benzene. find the weirdest mix of music and rainy mood.
You might be surprised.
And tweet it at PermaPodcast.
I'd be curious. What's the best one?
Another thing that makes me feel super cozy, though, scented candles, wax melts, anything that has a scent to it that just makes me feel like I have a little bit more ownership over how my space is, I guess. That's a weird way to put it. But, just choosing a scent and having your room not smell like mildew because it's winter or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep. Not fresh.
Not that my room smells mildewy, because at the minute it's smelling like peony and guava in my mana potion candle from Game Tea, and it's really good. It's really good. So I'll stick that on when it gets towards the night time, and I'll have a little
peony. You know who probably smells a lot of peony? Ryo from Shenmue. He picks a lot of them. So much so that I thought it was pronounced peony. So,
Peony. Oh my god, also...
Isn't that a Fire Emblem character?
Yes, that is also a Fire Emblem character. But I meant to tell you this off recording, but I'm going to shame you now. It's not spinal, it's not spinal, it's spinel.
Bye now.
I'll be honest, I'm behind on the Shenmues, so I've not.
Oh, it's not Shenmue. That's Resident Evil.
Oh, I'm behind on a lot of things because I've been watching people play Skyrim.
Yeah, can't blame you. But I was watching the VOD of that stream, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, and not only am I pronouncing it wrong, but every time I say it like in the most annoying way possible. So I'll course correct that for next week.
Spinel.
Well, we'll see about that.
Spinel.
Bye now.
Spine out. But one of the things as well that's made me feel super cozy recently is streams in general, not just like doing them, but also watching my friends do them. For me, when I stream, it feels like a form of communication with a bunch of people all at once, and I like that. Because it makes it feel like I still have a connection to people outside of this house. And there's just something like really chill and nice about going, oh, it's Friday, I get to sit down with my friends today and play some Fire Emblem. That's super neat. I like that. So,
yeah.
Streaming. And also watching people's streams, because then I get to make fun of them for saying Spinel wrong.
Bye now.
What else?
Yeah, I mean, it's the taking advantage of spending time with people in a time when you're not able to. So, like, I have been enjoying watching a film once a week with an Ebby.
Oh yeah. That's another thing.
I mean, we've only done it twice so far, but watching a film and ripping into it at the same time and being just confused. It's great. We've watched.
Yeah, we've so far watched Hercules and Pocahontas because we got Disney Plus. So let's make the most of that. And that's been nice as well because that's made me feel nostalgic for old Disney films as well.
Well, it sparked
and that takes me back to like being 5 years old and being like, oh wow, Pocahontas is like the coolest. She's like the coolest one. Look at her hair. Whoa. Yeah, there was another thing I was going to say and I've completely forgotten.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, video games. No, specifically, winter in Stardew Valley is my time to feel cozy. It doesn't matter what time of the year it actually is. If I'm in winter in Stardew Valley, even though there's not much to do, there's just something about like the music and the way that everything looks that just makes me feel super nice. And I like that feeling. So that's my cozy video game. I think might be a bit different from Resident Evil.
Just a bit. Just a little bit.
I mean, I think that, it makes sense because of obviously the music and the aesthetic, but it's also the one time in the game where you're not trying to work out. I mean, know at this point how to do this, that, and the other, but you're not worrying about farming and planting crops and whether you've got enough time to do this, that, and the other. You're just like, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to go to the market. I'm going to go to the mines. I'm just going to sit and...
That night market that they added in the one of the updates.
Was it 1.4? Maybe?
It's so good. Definitely loses its sort of like newness after the first couple times you do it, but I love that night market. So in terms of like stuff, I feel like this is just a list. I apologize, but in terms of stuff that I've been watching on YouTube, though, I feel like I have to talk about this in depth because I have gotten into the wild world of resin art. So me and my friend Emily, who will be on next week's episode, have been saying for ages that we really want to get into dice making. And I was watching videos about this guy that makes dice, and then in the recommended videos it was this girl that was making like just resin art, and I haven't stopped in days. Like, that's all I've been doing is watching people experiment with alcohol inks in resin and people trying different mica powder brands, and it's like something that I didn't know anything about a week ago, but now I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I am going to get into resin art as soon as I am able to buy a respirator and gloves, which is a problem right now.
See, I look forward to you getting into the resin stuff just because I'm curious to see whether it makes your totally fine and not a problem dice problem better or worse. Like whether you'll spend less on dice but then spend 10 times more on resin.
Resin's kind of expensive, man. But like that's always been the goal, is that me and Emily have wanted to make dice for forever. Because we do have this problem where I have this problem. I'm not going to throw this on Emily as well. When I get a specific D&D character that I love, I have to get a specific set of dice for that character. You know, one that matches their like aesthetic, or it matches the class, or there's just something about it that like is that character. I have to have it. I have to do it. I have to go ahead and buy 3 sets of dice just in case. I don't know. Sometimes it is I just like how the dice looks, but other times I'm like, oh man, this would be a really great Nepenthe dice. Oh, this would be a really great Theo dice or whatever. So I need to stop coming up with characters for a start, because I'm not playing enough games to
justify the dice you already have.
Buying the amount of dice that I do. I mean, I think there would be something really cool about going, oh, I love this character. I'm going to make a dice for that character.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, both in terms of making them for yourself, but also buying a set, because it means that 10 years from now, when you're playing your 50th, 1000th character, you happen to find in your knapsack of dice, you find that 1d4 or whatever, and you're like, oh yeah, that was that character who died horribly, but all the good times.
All the good memories I had with that character before I had to retire these dice.
Yeah.
I don't know if Bill gets this, because I know that Bill has dice, but I don't know if he has a dice goblin problem that I have.
I bought a massive bag of like 12 different sets of dice. Dice is the plural. I have to get used to that. And each one is themed after like a different kind of theme. Like the set I'm using now primarily is based off themed color wise off of like a Kraken like sea type theme. We're playing DMing Ghosts of Salt Marsh, so I'm using. I'm with you, Abby, in a way where it's like I like to use different dice for different characters. Like for Festerman, my fighter, I used a gold and black set. For my Bard, I used a what color set did I use for that That little bastard. He was a little backstabbing little gnome guy. I forget what color I use, but I typically like to theme my dice around who I'm playing, so I get the. I haven't bought them in a while. I bought that set, and I'm like, you know what? This will probably cover every mood of character that I play for a little bit, but yeah.
But just you wait until you've got a friend that can make custom dice.
Oh yeah.
For you.
I'll commission some dice.
I am really looking forward to because it's something that I want to do. I don't know if either of you are like this, but I'm like, oh, I really want to get into cross stitch, and then I'll never get into cross stitch, and then the next week it'll be like, oh man, candles. Want to make candle, and I know how to make candles. That's not a good example for me, but in general, keep saying I want to do this, but then don't do it because there's either a cost involved or it's scary to learn about it, and it means that I never do it. But I don't know if you've seen them on Facebook where people are like, we're making this table out of nothing but wood and resin, and they'll pour a shit ton of resin into this reservoir. It's the most satisfying shit.
Oh, so they make it a little they typically make it look sort of either super fancy crystal, or we've made an ocean scene out of this bit of driftwood and 300 litres of blue resin.
That'd be a very expensive amount of resin.
But no, I get that. I think that mine is slightly worse, because where you think, oh, I want to get into this, and then you never do. I think, I want to get into this, and I buy the stuff, and I start, and then I stop. So I make the money and the somewhat time investment, and then give up. I feel like your way's better.
What sort of things are we talking here? What sort of things can I encourage you into doing?
So I used to cross stitch, back in school, and there's been a picture that I've wanted to recreate for a real long time, and I finally found a dodgy Chinese site that sold it, and I bought that, and it was not great, but I was cross stitching for about a week. And then got pissed off with it and stopped. Knitting, I go off and on of.
Talking of you knitting.
Yeah.
The other day I was cleaning up and I found, I don't know if you remember it, you made me, for when we met up in Florida.
Oh, the little cushion with the fluffy ears.
Yeah, it was like a little cushion of my Minecraft skin. Of the face of my Minecraft skin with little puffy panda ears. Yeah, I still have that. I still have the little pandas that you knitted me as well from the Christmas tree.
See, it's weird that I was thinking a couple of weeks ago, man, that was a lot of work. I wonder who still has theirs.
I think I still have basically everything from that gift exchange. Even though I should probably throw some of it away, to be honest.
Well, none of it was food, so...
No. I hope that all the food that was exchanged is long gone. But yeah, you should knit and you should cross stitch.
Knit.
And the other one the one that I started last week, I started making a game. Well, I started learning to make games. I made a really crappy asteroid.
Make a Muso game. Make a Muso.
I don't think that's in my skill set at all. I just about managed to make an asteroid clone whilst following a tutorial.
Kinros, it can't be any worse than Dynasty Warriors 9, buddy. Just make it.
But yeah, I mean, that was... most of the time, I'm just trying to find stuff to distract me from how long the day is. So maybe that's why I just suddenly drop everything. I'm like, I've been sufficiently distracted.
I envy those people that... I watch them as well because they make me feel like cozy, to be honest. People who craft for a living and they're like, okay, today we're doing embroidery with beads, and today we're doing painting on a little fairy house. And you're like, oh, this makes me feel so good, but also terrible that I never follow through on anything that I do. This is a random tangent. I apologize.
I feel a similar way towards like just artists in general.
Yeah, in all ways, all different fields.
Because people do say, oh, but you can do the creative stuff. You can knit and you can cross stitch. You can very basically crochet and bake and things. I'm like, yeah, but that's literally just following instructions. I cannot create anything. I just follow instructions and then things come out the other end. Whereas...
Do what I do, where someone gives you a recipe for banana bread and then you make it your own by putting chocolate chips in that banana bread.
I sort of did that. I had no scales and I used spoons as a measurement. But no, I'm very jealous of Emily. Like just being able to come up with something out of your head and it end up being...
She is incredibly good at taking... Like, I commissioned her this week for a picture of my Blood Hunter that I've been playing recently. And I'd made one of those, like, little pictures on Pit Crew.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is the reference I have. The only thing different is that he wears a circlet. Help. And she was like, okay, how's this? And it was... I don't even know, like 10 times better than anything I could have possibly thought it was going to be. She's very, very talented at being like, oh, so you have this idea and this idea, so how about this? And then it's like, great. She's just really, really good at that. Commission her friend, my friend. Don't commission her friend, commission my friend.
I keep wanting to commission Emily for something, but this is the other thing. I can't, like, she's real good at drawing stuff. I can't imagine clearly enough, even like a vague idea of how to explain what I want. So I can't commission because I can't say, hey, can you make this for me?
To be fair, my descriptions for commissions from Emily before have been poor. They've been super bad. And she's gone, okay, and she's done it. But I wonder if it's that sort of, that thing that was going around a couple of months ago where it was like, imagine an apple, close your eyes and imagine an apple. What does the apple look like?
I think I might have told you about that, the aphantasia stuff. And there was like...
Because you were saying that you were like on the one end of the scale, and I was on like the 5 end of the scale.
Yeah.
Like...
I don't know
if you've seen that, Bill.
It sounds familiar. I didn't do it, so I don't actually know.
Well, if you close your eyes and imagine an apple, how in detail is that apple?
Like how much could I describe what's on that apple?
What does the apple look like?
Well, it's sitting on a counter. It's kind of darker red towards the top. There's little speckles on it. I'm not sure what kind of apple that is. Sunlight might be hitting the left side. It's maybe a soft spot in the top right of the apple.
Just to double check, do you have an apple in front of you right now?
No, I don't. I just love apples. Because
that would be cheating. You're like, oh yeah, I mean the sun's coming in from like behind me. It's like a little bit blue because it's going.
Yeah. Where an apple usually sits on my counter is where we usually keep apples. So, like, if I close my eyes and envision an apple, I'm envisioning it on that specific counter where I'd be seeing it usually. How I would be seeing an apple on any given day is in that position.
Yeah, because if someone says apple to me, I imagine, like a green apple specifically sat in the bowl on my kitchen table that's, like, gone a little bit brown because you probably should have eaten it by now, but, you're doing a much better job at describing it than I am. But...
And you're doing a much better job than I, because I don't get anything. Like if
you're just like, it's an apple.
There's an apple, and then I'm trying to. Then I'm not imagining an apple. I'm trying to remember things about an apple, or trying to remember when I have last seen an apple. But even then, it's like, nah. It's like a round thing. It's round. There's a stick on it.
Hours upon hours.
But I'm not actually seeing that image in my head. I'm just like listing off what I know of.
What apples would be on an apple? Yeah. extensive hours of D&D helps a lot with expression out of your brain, being able to describe places and things, and
that's why I feel awful when I'm DMing, because I'm like, I don't even remember I can't picture what I'm describing to you. So real sorry if it doesn't make any sense, or suddenly you're like, but what's that over there? And I'm like, it's a wall. Theatre of the mind. Can't do it.
I feel like if I could monetize my imagination, like purely just my imagination, not my skill, not my fucking talent or anything, if I could monetize that, I would be a very rich lady.
That's a game designer, isn't it?
The idea is
the idea's good.
Yeah, be the game director. Yeah, then make everyone else do stuff. That's
they'll put a really specific apple in that game, I'll tell you that much.
It'll be like the lemon in Paper Mario for the Wii U.
That lemon.
I freaking love that lemon.
Did you ever see any of the fruit in Pikmin 3? Because that was some good fruit.
Also good
really
fruit? Oh, man.
Top 5 fruit in games.
Big fan of fruit. The lemon from Super Paper Mario. It wins every year. It's
the
top
peach
5,
in Animal
top
Crossing
5.
New Horizons.
Oh, the perfect apple in
Butt rug.
New Leaf. The perfect fruit in New Leaf.
I never saw him.
Oh. Come to my town, I've got tons.
What, in New Leaf? I don't have a 3DS anymore.
Well, I don't know.
I'll just Google it.
And I guess overall, conversations like this just make me feel really cozy and neat.
Yeah, because
I realised we went off into a tangent about like creativity and productivity and stuff, but you know.
Because I was speaking with a friend of mine that I realised I haven't spoken to like with words other than like text since the Christmas before last.
Oh, wow.
And I haven't seen him since then, and before then it was like 2 years, and it was honestly like nothing had changed. It was just like, bam, making weird jokes about wells in Animal Crossing and just talking nonsense like we are at the minute. And it's just like, that's real nice, and it makes me feel bad that I don't do it more often, but it's nice that when it does happen, it's not awkward, and you can just chill and enjoy the time.
Yeah. I kind of just like hanging out with my friends, to be honest, even if it is just over Discord for now. Like doing these podcasts, as much as I'm saying, oh, hope it helps someone, to be honest, it's helping
it's mostly for you.
a lot. But, you know, it's just nice to talk to people through voice rather than... Because as the three of us communicate mostly through text.
Yeah.
And there's just something a little bit different about hearing another person on the end of the words, I guess.
I think that's why
It makes me feel nice.
streaming hasn't quite... I mean, I don't do it as much. I think that streaming's not quite clicked as much for me, because I'm doing the talking, or someone else is doing the talking, and I'm typing it. It feels a little bit more disconnected. But I guess it's a step above just typing to each other and then watching those dots appear and then waiting for some more text to show up. It's like halfway good.
And also when I'm having a conversation like this, if things go silent immediately, I immediately know that I probably said something fucking weird and awkward. Whereas in a Discord server, I'm like, uh-oh, everyone disappeared. What did I do?
Everyone's internet just died.
Oh no. Yeah, is there anything else that makes either of you feel cozy and nice?
You know, I tried doing some more thinking while you were all talking. Whoa.
Whoa.
Drugs can roast? You don't have to go there.
Nah, caffeine, my friend.
Yeah. You know, like, I was trying to think a little more about other things that would make me feel cozy, because like I realized my answer. But the thing is, my answer for everything is usually music or games. It's just kind of where my brain sits comfortably inside of the things that I identify with the most. But I'm trying to draw on life experiences and like the simple things, really. You know, like taking my socks off. You know, hell yeah, fuck socks. Freaking hate them. You know. It's weird. It's hard. It's weirder now because working from home, and I mean I've worked from home for a while, but like I'm kind of just always here, so like I never get to have that.
Never socks to take off.
Yeah, yeah. I don't wear socks anymore. Period. I mean it's just the way it is. You know, I haven't worn a pair of socks since January, so you know, is what it is.
This is good life.
But yeah, that feeling of coming home, I don't really get anymore. So yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of always in a state of cozy. Is that the right word for it? In terms of my environment. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough for me to think of anything besides games and music and stuff like that. Those kinds of things just kind of transport me, make me feel good. There's those days where I could sit here and breathe. Because my room smells good, and I'm listening either to a game soundtrack I love, or you know, I'm just looking at everything in front of me that I have available to me right now to take up my time and make me feel happy, and whether that's the people I'm talking to, just like my options right now, you know, to distract myself, make me feel cozy. I have a lot of them, and I'm grateful for those because not everybody does. So that kind of stuff, my living space here, my quarters, Billy's quarters, make me feel cozy.
Here's a question. Do you feel more or less cozy now that the boxed wine is gone?
You know, it's like a debuff went away. Like a priest came in and cleansed me of an ethics.
Greater restoration on that.
Yeah, you know, it's funny looking over and seeing it gone. It's like, wow, goodbye, old friend. Since like June 2018.
So you don't look over and freak out where it's gone. You're like, what? Someone stole my wine.
Gone. You know, it still smelled good.
I wonder if that's how I'll feel. I'm sure it can't have.
It still smelled pretty good coming out of the bag. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm hoping that's how I feel when I get rid of all of my recycling for the week. Because I'm currently living in like a pile of cans and paper, and it needs to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Because I like have a bag that I set aside that's like, this is my recycling bag, and now I have 3 of them. So, that's my fault.
I don't know if I'd class that as. I don't know if that would class as cozy, the declutter, but
I don't know. Just having space to walk around my room where I don't knock over 7 cans. That'd be pretty dang cozy.
True.
Hell yeah. I just cleaned up the space behind me where I sit. My problem is I accumulate boxes. Way too many boxes. Like, I buy, the WoW 15th anniversary set. Big box. There's 2 more big boxes inside. Okay, put them in the corner. I don't feel like breaking them down just yet. Okay, they're sitting there now for a year. Okay, bought the Oculus. Big box. People want me figures for my birthday and Christmas all the time. Big boxes. Sitting in the corner. Okay. I bought a ring light. Okay, big box. Okay. Now I just have a massive space of my room covered in boxes. So I broke them all down 2 days ago, and I got rid of them all, and my room feels like I moved into a mansion. It's pretty incredible. I recommend...
But now you're going to need a box for something.
Declutter. Yeah, right. If only I hadn't got rid of them.
I have to keep all of our boxes for eBay purposes, because when I ship stuff, I don't want to spend money on
right, yeah. Easier to
packaging that I don't need to. But it means that I have fucking 500 cardboard boxes, and they're not like interesting boxes that have purpose. It's just like, it's a fucking cardboard box, man. And I've got too many of them, and I need to get rid of some. So COVID needs to end so that I can relist things on eBay. How about you, Kira? Is there anything else that you want to mention?
I don't know if it classes as cozy, but the one benefit of this time of year, and my work shift, is that I had to leave the house by about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And though the days are miserably hot and bright, and I hate it, at that sort of time in the morning when the sky is somewhat light and blue and clear, and there's still like a chill to the air, before my allergies kick in. Those 10 minutes are real nice. I'm like, you know what? It's not so bad, and then it is.
I felt a bit like that today when me and my mum went on a walk,
mm-hmm.
and it was just like, maybe everything is actually okay.
Yeah.
And then I walked into a stinging nettle, but you know, I got some flowers. It was cool.
I feel like that's basic, and I'm hoping that it's something that I think to take forward, is that more and more, as I'm getting either stir crazy or frustrated with people around me or at work or whatever, that I try to realize the small moments that are nice, and either accept them more at the time and be like, oh yeah, this is actually quite nice, or to try and hold on to them as to remember, oh yeah, you had an awful week, but you know what, the last 3 days when you've gone into work, it's been pretty, it's been pleasant, and it's not as bad as you think it is.
Yeah, it's hard to realize sometimes that things are not. Well, for some people it is dreadful, and I don't want to like downplay that, but for most of us, you know, we blow things out of proportion a lot of the time, in terms of how bad they are, when really, like, does it matter that Hubert died on that last map?
Yes.
No.
Mm-hmm. The husband.
Husband.
Yep.
His beautiful maternity dress.
Oh dear. So yeah, I would say make yourself your favourite drink, light a candle, clean your room. You'll feel cozy.
Mm-hmm. Play some Resident Evil. Start with the remake of 1. Perfect place to start.
Play some Ostriv.
No place cozier than the Spencer Mansion, that's for sure.
I don't know. I feel like a massive empty mansion is like the opposite of cozy.
Full of zombies, though.
Well, it's full of zombies and death traps. So, I mean, whatever floats your boat, I suppose. I'd rather like a small cottage or something. Thatched roof.
Hold on. I'm actually going to recommend the resin artist that I was talking about. So there was a dice maker, if you are interested in dice making. His YouTube username is Ribonator. Ribonator.
Yes. I recall this man.
Let me find this other. Alright, the other resin channel is this lady. I don't know her real name. So she's called Artsy Mad Woman, and she just makes a lot of resin art with flowers and alcohol ink. And if you want to watch, highly recommend. So I'll put those in the description since I spoke too much about resin art, and I apologise to literally anyone who's had to hear me talk about resin art for the 15th time this week.
I think of all the things today, resin art is the thing that has been talked about the least. So, go again.
I feel like, you know, I don't know if you feel like this, but when you're super into something and you know that no one else is into that thing, but you just want to talk about it, and then you talk about it for like a minute, and you're like, I've gone on for hours about this, and I know they don't care, and I can't stop myself.
I mean,
that's how I feel when I talk about resin art right now.
I'm like that when I talk. It doesn't matter whether I'm talking about something I'm into or not. I'm like, I've been talking for too long, I need to shut up.
How about this? I'll tell you to shut up when I get bored of you, and if I don't tell you to shut up, it means I'm not bored. How about that?
That sounds good. I'm now trying to retroactively remember if you've ever told me to shut up. Maybe twice.
Not seriously, I don't think. Maybe that time when you said that I was fat.
I didn't say you were fat. No, there's... There's been times when you've asked me to stop talking just because I'm digging a hole, which I guess is similar to that time when I did not say the words "you are fat." I want that on record. I did not.
Implied it.
You inferred it. All of you inferred it. I did not.
Bill, be the judge of this situation.
No. I'm vetoing this conversation for podcast purposes.
I'm talking about this.
We can have it afterwards.
Bill,
it's not being on the internet.
No, we're having it now. Bill, if you said to someone, "Oh, I need to get a new pair of jeans. I'm a bit too big for these ones," and then someone said to you, "Yeah, you can tell," what would that infer to you?
I think you'll find you said, "I'm finding these jeans are a bit tight."
Well, and then you said...
Well, yeah, I said, yeah.
I'm gonna have to...
Yeah, you can tell.
You know...
Now, you've got to bear in mind, I have a mental health condition. I am on the spectrum.
I'm going to edit you out of this podcast.
It's going to be real weird when you're just talking to Silence and Bill.
Exactly.
Nah, I am a socially awkward person, and I did not imply it that way.
You didn't mean to, but you did.
That's not my problem. Bill's not falling on one side or the other. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, I'm just riding
this as much as I am.
I'm just riding down the middle.
I know that he's on my side. He just doesn't want to say. That's fine.
I feel like Bill would very gladly choose a side when I'm on the losing side.
I mean, if someone said it to me, I would be like, "Yo, what the fuck? What the hell, man?" Yeah.
There you go.
They are tight. 'Cause I'm big.
And they are small.
If I was smaller, I could fit in these, you know?
Yeah.
Is that what you're implying? That the jeans were too small, not that I was too big?
You know what? That conversation is like 7 years old. Yes, we'll go with that. That is what I was saying. I was saying, yeah, you bought the wrong size trousers.
There we go.
Look at that. Civil court here on the show. Court is adjourned.
Judge Hogue.
Bum 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 ba.
You want to get into some song recommendations for the week?
Hell yeah, the Law and Order theme song.
Anything to get away from that conversation.
Oh my God.
I brought with me. Now I tried. I don't want to keep bringing just Gaslight Anthem songs and Brian Fallon songs. So Weezer put out a new song this past week, and I know some people are up and down on Weezer's output, over the years, or after their heyday, as some their glory days, as some might say. I've always liked what Weezer's been doing, even when the albums aren't as good as their old ones. But they put out a new song, and the reason I recommend this one, it's called Hero, is it's falling onto that trend of making music videos that involve the fans during the quarantine, and I'm a big sucker for that. Big time sucker for that. And it's always this in turn makes me feel cozy, is getting to see everybody in their own homes jamming out to a song, or in the case of this music video, everyone's passing a note along to everybody working essential jobs, written by Rivers Cuomo, and then the theme of the video is it gets passed along to each person until it makes it to the desk where the letter's read. And it's fun to see people come together and do that. It's goofy, it's funny, and the song itself is really good. But paired up with the video, it's perfect quarantine viewing if you're into that kind of stuff. Similarly, and I didn't throw it on the list for Ebby, but the video for Happy Days from Blink-182 they put out a few weeks ago also fits into that mold. Just makes you feel good.
Tuesdays?
Yeah. Makes you feel good seeing people come together in those ways around good music in this time of everyone's lives. So yeah, check out the song, check out the video. I'm loving it.
I haven't done that yet because I was literally making these notes right up until until we started recording, but I will after this.
Go!
I didn't put one on the list that I'm going to mention. Nintendo in general have been releasing snippets of Xenoblade Chronicles songs. Those are making me feel super cozy because that game is just stunning. Everything about it is amazing, and they keep releasing these like 30-second snippets of the remastered songs for Definitive Edition. I would highly recommend checking those out. It's a really good soundtrack.
They sound good.
Yoko Shimomura did some of it, so if that entices you, go to their Twitter accounts. But songs that I actually put on the list were from one of my favourite J-rock bands. So I can't explain why the fuck I picked these songs, because I don't know what the words are. I just think they sound really good. So you know how you were just talking about how you had a reason for picking yours? I just think these songs are pretty good. So, Rookies is Punked, one of my favourite J-rock bands. They did, I think it was one of the openings for Durarara, and one of the openings for Blue Exorcist, like forever ago. And their first album in general, I think it's called From Dusk Till Dawn, is very, very good, but I've picked two songs in particular, being Dance on the Floor, which is just about dancing, as far as I can tell. That one's got some English swears in it, so there you go.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And,
What level of English swears? Bill's or mine?
Bill's.
Okay.
And then I picked another song, which is a little bit more of a somber song, but I still think it's an amazing song, which is Screaming Against the X, but the X is multiplied by 7 times. I just didn't want to say that many X's. It's a great song. That's all I've got to say. Music recommendations for the week. Yeah. Done.
Lock it in.
So I don't have... I don't have 3 things to do at home this week, but I did find something neat, specifically for Bill. So, Bill.
Yes.
You know how you were mentioning that I think you said that you were going to miss the Artist Alley.
Yes.
Very
much.
This year. Well, Castle Point Anime Convention has you covered. So, because they can't hold their convention this year, they have set up an online Artist Alley and Dealers Room. So they are showcasing everyone that was supposed to be at that convention. So you can go and buy prints directly from them, and you can support some cool artists. You can...
This one's got a
code.
There's a... I'm sorry, I was just scrolling through and I saw... I'm going to link it to you. I kind of love it. If you can... it's just a
snom with a knife.
Yeah, it's just a snom with a knife.
This is a brilliant, genius, amazing idea to help stimulate and support the artists who are losing out on their income too from not being able to attend these conventions. So this is awesome. I'm definitely gonna buy some stuff.
Where's Bill gonna put his prints? Find out next time.
Knowing how, I mean, I feel like half the limit on buying things at an Artist Alley is either how much cash you have on you or how much you want to carry. I feel like having a digital Artist Alley is mostly
how am I gonna get these prints home without bending them?
Yeah, don't have to worry about that when they're shipped to you.
Yeah, support artists. I have... Oh no, he's linked me. Oh no, into the basket you go.
Sorry,
of course
live shopping here. I'm sorry.
Oh no, there's a cloud one.
Yeah. It's all 3 of them.
Oh god, there's a cloud one.
Oh, I accidentally added to cart. I wanted to see the options.
Well, okay. I'm probably gonna buy that. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So there's nothing free to do this week. You got to pay for everything this week, unfortunately. But go and support your local,
quote unquote,
not local, Etsy artists. I don't know. Yeah. So check that out, and then we come to the end of the episode, which is sad. But guess what?
What?
we've got some good news from January of this year.
I mean, it's good news.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to find more news articles that are not super related to the ongoing situation, as we like to call it here. So instead, I found a story from January of this year about the UK's first wild beaver colony in 400 years being a huge success, helping to have helped plant and animal life to flourish, as they say in the article. And it's just a nice little thing about how beavers are reducing water flow, helping plant and animal life flourish, and they've drawn in a crowd of regular visitors that cannot go there anymore to the area. But their dams are helping with the risk of flooding in Devon. So go and read about some beavers. I think it's a really nice story.
And
this is beavers, like animals are just great.
Yeah,
so.
they're adorable.
I think the weirdest thing about that is, for some reason, I never figured that beavers were a thing here.
It's probably because they weren't. This is the
first
colony
I
in
guess.
400 years. It's wild.
But even so, I was like, yeah, beavers in England, never. But it's not like birds.
Yeah.
Do you have beavers? No. Well, now we do.
Enjoy.
Yeah, it's real nice. Now we've got tree rodents.
Stop linking me Fire Emblem. I want them all.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
It's unrealistic though, because Claude is not upside down.
Yeah.
He's almost there.
He's almost there. Yeah,
he's on his way.
He's rotational.
Do you guys have anything you want to shout out before we go?
Check out Ebby's streams.
Yeah.
Check out Bill's streams.
Thank you.
Thanks.
They're good. I can't see Bill's as much as I'd like because
time zones and all that.
He's a jerk and streams at a normal time for him.
Cater to me.
Yeah, I don't have enough time. Yeah, that's about it. Look after yourselves.
Yeah.
Continue
Play WoW.
to not touch butts.
Mm-hmm.
You touch butts in WoW.
Play well.
No, don't touch butts in WoW either. That's how you get a computer virus. It's like that.
Bill, do you have anything you want to shout out?
Whatever you're doing out there, keep doing it. Like I always say at the end of my streams, if you're still tuning in, if you're still listening, it means you're doing something right throughout these times. So keep on doing what you're doing. Keep staying safe. And check all of our stuff out. Support your friends. If your friend's making something, check it out. Show interest. Watch it. Look at it. Encourage them. Tell them it's good. Everyone's trying to do crazy things in their homes nowadays. Encourage everybody. Encourage your loved ones. Encourage your friends. That's all I've got. I have nothing in particular. No products of my own.
Okie dokie cheese popcorn.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, it goes without saying. You know what I mean?
Have you tried to buy it online?
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna look right now though again.
We'll stay on until we know.
Okie dokie hot cheese popcorn. Target.com. Out of stock, not available online. Fuck. Yeah, see, it's impossible to find.
Can you not just like melt American cheese, like Kraft slices?
Ooh, it's on Amazon.
Is that not all it is?
How does it have 2.5 stars? What's going on here?
Someone was very generous.
Someone's making an Amazon order.
Oh, rip off. These bags are too small. Okay. It's not about the product. All the reviews say this popcorn's amazing. These bags too small. Okay, well.
So it is about the product.
Well, yeah, the size of the product, right? Yeah. But the taste is
only
fine.
4 popcorn pieces.
Yeah.
I feel like this has fully developed into the next episode of Permadeath.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It truly has. It's very tangent. Is tangential the word that I'm looking for?
Yeah.
In
but
fact,
hey, you know,
Ebby's going to cut the episode right here, and we're going to record for another 2 hours and make an episode.
Well, guess I'm staying up until 3 a.m.
I mean,
Thank you for listening, everybody. Stay safe, stay inside, stay sane, and we will see you next week. So, goodbye.
Bye-bye.